Alrighty, morning everyone, and welcome back to another beautiful video on this beautiful channel on another beautiful day. In today's video, we are going to talk about retirement in connection with gold and silver. Can you do it with gold and silver? And if so, how much would you need for that? And what is my personal plan for retiring with or maybe also without gold and silver? Now, you might be asking yourself, well, what do you mean without? You clearly have gold and silver. Yes, I do, but that doesn't mean that I have to calculate it into my retirement, right? Can be a separate thing, but we're going to talk about that in today's video. I think it's a very interesting topic that I have actually thought quite a lot about over the last couple of months. So, I hope it's going to be interesting, but before we're going to get right into that, we're going to, of course, take a look at all the stuff that I brought for you today. So, we'll start with this beautiful Australian coin. This is a 1 ounce Australian Desert Scorpion. This is a Royal Australian Mint coin. Real beautiful coin. I really like those, and I am also very happy that the new version of these Australia's most dangerous coins recently came to the market with the box jellyfish, and I'm definitely going to get that, so you're going to see that on the channel at some point. Next one is a 1 ounce American Silver Eagle. Beautiful coin. I really like the new design. I really also did like the old design, so I'm still not sure which one I prefer, but I like this one. Yeah, and I also like the Gold Eagle one. I have a Gold Eagle as well. We're going to bring that on the channel here at some point. And I also like the old Gold Eagle design, which I unfortunately don't have a complete ounce of. So yeah, continuing on with this Una and the Lion coin. Nice coin. Problem with this coin, I've said it before, because I take this coin out quite a lot because I like it. It's a nice looking coin. The problem with it is that it really has a lot of problems with milk spots. Because, well, it doesn't come in a capsule from the mint, which doesn't make any sense because it's a high markup coin, but oh well, whatever. Continuing on with this coin that doesn't have any milk spot problem. This is an Australian Kangaroo 1 ounce gold coin from the year of 2019. The nice thing about these kangaroos is that they change in design every year, so that's a very cool thing. And so if you buy them, you can maybe, if you're lucky, also get a little bit of a collector's markup at some point in the future, even though these coins obviously don't have any limited mintage or stuff like that, but still happens. So retirement with gold and silver, how much do you need? Let's start with that. In general, just a very general expectation for that. If you want to have like 2,000, 2,500 bucks a month for, let's just say, 20 or 25 years, you're going to need approximately $500,000 in gold and silver. Now, the good thing is that we over here don't have to pay taxes on the money that we potentially make with gold and silver, where it might go up in price or whatever. I don't know how that is in the US. I hope that it's the same way, but I just don't know. So if you know that it's different, act accordingly, and if you don't know, act accordingly as well, because you can Google it, of course. So if you want to know that for your specific country, go ahead and look it up, because of course I can't tell you how the tax stuff works for every single country in the world that you might be watching this from. Or maybe not. You get the point, right? You're gonna just have to look that up yourself, but over here, that's how it is. We don't have to pay taxes on the stuff if we held it for more than 1 year after we sell it. On the profit, of course, if you sell something that didn't go up in value, of course you don't have to pay taxes. That should be the same all around the world, hopefully. Well, there's probably gonna be some country where it's not the case, but that would be theft. But yeah, anyways, I would reckon that this is probably going to be the same all over the world. So I would suggest just to calculate with the actual value that it has today when you buy it, and not maybe speculate on it going up in value a lot in the future, because it very well might, but it might also not. And retirement is not really something you want to speculate on. So it would only make sense to calculate something like approximately $500,000. Now that's a lot of money. I think we can all agree on that. Even in today's time where inflation is pretty high, that is still a lot of money. And I gotta be honest with you, it's unlikely that I'm gonna have that amount in gold and silver until my retirement, which is gonna be not soon, like not even close to soon. I don't know, maybe for some of you it is soon, but $500,000 is a lot to have in gold and silver, especially in silver, right? That's a solid chunk of silver. It's not that much in gold, at least not volume wise, but it's a lot. So what can you do about that? Well, first of all, it depends on how much money you actually need. If you, of course, don't need like $2,000, $2,500 a month, well, then you can just have less, right? Like that's the easiest solution for that. And obviously, how much you need really depends on your living expenses, right? If you've got very low living expenses, very low overhead, like me, for example, I barely spend over $300 a month on just your generic life expenses, like whatever, heating and water and electricity and food and stuff like that. Not even close to like $300. I usually go up to about $300 with like clothing and stuff, but stuff is just not very expensive here. So if stuff is expensive where you are at, which is probably gonna be United Kingdom, United States, somewhere else in Europe, then it's probably gonna be reasonably expensive. Here is not, but if you are somewhere else, chances are that it is. That obviously poses some issues, because if you've got a family, for example, expenses going to go up significantly and all kinds of stuff like that. If you've got a car, I also don't have a car, so if you have that, expenses going to be very high up. If you, for example, if you need to buy like gas or oil at the moment to heat your house and stuff like that, that's going to be a major expense. I don't have that. I just use wood. If anything, right now I'm not heating anything. I'm not heating anything usually until mid-January, because that's when it gets really cold, like minus whatever degrees. But before it's freezing, I'm not heating anything. I don't see the point. It's a bit cold, yeah, okay, so what? But yeah, so that's kind of my thing. But if you want to have it warm, of course, that's going to be expensive nowadays. Inflation and war shit and stuff like that. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff going wrong with the world at the moment. I don't really want to get into that today, or ever, but that's something you got to think about, right? These are all recurring expenses and they have to be paid. And if you have to pay them with your gold and silver, for example, of course you have to sell it first. But if you want to pay it with that, you're going to have it first. So that's the thing. So if you can just invest or save, I don't really like the term investing in connection with gold and silver. If you have the opportunity to collect as much or accumulate as much gold and silver that it's going to be enough for that, like, as I said, probably about $500,000 for 2 people should be good, hopefully. But yeah, it kind of just depends on your personal situation. The thing is, you can do with less, but you of course need to somehow then get your recurring costs down. So let me just quickly talk you through my retirement plan with gold and silver. I'm obviously planning on integrating gold and silver into my retirement to some degree, yeah? Because I like gold and silver. I like buying that, and I just like it in general for its value preserving aspects and stuff like that. And that's also the main aspect that I'm going to use in my retirement plans. So I'm not planning on collecting $500,000 in gold and silver, like with today's purchasing power. I'm not talking about the future where inflation might have dwindled that down a bit, but I'm talking about today's purchasing power, $500,000 in gold and silver. I'm not planning on having that much of it. I think that might be a bit unrealistic. But what I do have right now, I kind of want to just keep it that way, right? And I could accumulate some more over the years, and I would probably, actually, if I continue the way I've been doing stuff over the last couple of years, I would probably get to $500,000 on the end of my life. I am not old at all, so if I'm lucky, of course, you never know what might happen, but I might be able to do that. Regardless of that, I'm not really counting on it. Why not? Because my plan pretty much is, and always has been, to have very, very little recurring costs, because that just gives you a lot of freedom and you're not so tied up and know in the back of your head that you have to pay for some stuff that is maybe not very convenient to pay for right now. For example, electricity or heating or water and stuff like that. And so my plan for retirement is to just pretty much cancel all of those out. And that's going to save me a lot of money and won't make me spend a lot of it on, or maybe sell a lot of my gold and silver to pay for stuff like that, because it disappears. That's the kind of stuff that just disappears, food and things like that. And so I just produce that here. I do my best to do that, and I could just do it entirely right now, but of course I still have to work and stuff like that. And so, it just takes a lot of time to produce your own food, to produce your own electricity. Okay, that not, but electricity is something that we don't really have here anymore anyways. Well, at least that we pay for, right? We use electricity. You see, like there's a light bulb on right now. So we use electricity, however, we are not buying it. So there's that. But yeah, I also do the same thing with water. Not at the moment, but I could do the same thing with water because there's a lake right here on this property, and it is entirely on this property. So this is my lake. I don't know if you know how it works with lakes, but if a lake is on your property entirely, it's your lake. I guess everyone knew that, right? I didn't really need to say that, but there you go. Now you know it. And I think it's actually if the lake is on your property for more than 50%, but that might also vary from country to country. So look that up if you got an issue like that. I don't know. But yeah, that would supply for my water. And that's another recurring cost I would not have to pay in the future. That's always great, even though water is not worth anything here. I think I pay like $15 a month in water expenses, but still, like that is something that I would usually then have to sell like half an ounce of silver for. And I don't have to do that this way, right, in my retirement. I can just buy a filter and filter the water from the lake. Have that be pumped right into the house, and there you go. So that's not an issue. Electricity, solar panels, for example, and all the kind of stuff like that, right? It kind of adds up to approximately maybe $30,000 to $40,000. Now, you might think to yourself, well, that's pretty good because that's way less than $500,000. And I agree with that. And that's pretty much the main reason why I did it. Because I was like, well, I could, of course, go ahead and buy like $500,000 of gold and silver. And that would give me the opportunity to live my retirement pretty much without working, which is not very common today, nowadays, for whatever reason. Not nowadays, what are you talking about? Whatever. But yeah, that's like a pretty decent plan, right? Now, the thing is, why would I use gold and silver now anyways if I don't really have any expenses? Well, pretty simple question, actually. Pretty simple answer as well. Pretty much just for something like an insurance policy. In case some bigger thing breaks on the house or whatever, or you have to buy something, right? You can all imagine what that might be. Then you can go ahead and sell some of your gold and silver, because obviously without any significant income, it would be hard to pay for that otherwise. So I think it's very useful for that, but not necessarily a great thing to just pay your monthly reoccurring expenses with, because it's just going to dwindle it down so much that you might not be able to, give it to your children or grandchildren if you then end up passing away at some point, because, well, obviously no one stays here. So, and yeah, that's my way of kind of like thinking about that. It's reasonable, in my opinion, to just have the lowest amount of recurring expenses possible and just supplement everything else that might just come up with gold and silver. I think that makes sense. It's way more affordable. Like you would make do with almost like less than $100,000, like for everything, right? If you do it the right way, the smart way. It's not easy, but it's just so much less expensive, and you just have to save up so much less money than if you would just buy gold and silver for your retirement. Of course, if you can do it with gold and silver, like be my guest, that's great, right? This is just a video kind of about maybe you can't, right? And then you can do something else. It is possible. What is not a great idea is to just be like, oh, the world is so unfair, I'm just going to go ahead and sit in the corner and cry. That's not going to work, and it's not going to get you anywhere. And so get your head down and figure something out. That's what I did. I don't make a lot of money at all, like not at all. So if it works for me, it'll work for you. So yeah, that's pretty much my take on that. If you've got any more questions, or if you just want to tell me something else, write it in the comments below. I'd be very happy to answer that as always. And if you want to, you can rate the video, hit it like a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever you might want to do. And if you want to make me very happy, you can also subscribe to the channel, because we've almost got 1,000 subscribers. Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Thank you very, very much to every single one of you that subscribed. I never expected this channel to go anywhere, really. So yeah, thank you all very, very much. Have a fantastic week, and until next time.